Good morning, students. Welcome to the class of refrigeration and air conditioning. In last few classes, we have started our discussions on air conditioning and ventilation and have completed that module. And in the last class, last one or two classes, we have started a new module or new chapter, that is compressor, which is known as the heart of an air conditioning or refrigeration system. And regarding compressor, we have completed the introductory part. What are the classifications of compressor? Where we can use the compressed air, there is the application of compressed air. And the working principle of reciprocating compressor, rotary compressor, and rotor compressor. And in last class, along with all these things, we have also discussed about the work done or indicated work for a reciprocating compressor without clearance, and this one was the PV diagram for calculating indicating work without clearance, and the final expression was this one. Now today we will start our discussions on calculating of indicated work per cycle if some clearance is there. So first we have to draw the PV diagram. Now if we recapitulate the last class theory regarding the calculation of indicating work without clearance, then the PV diagram was like this. This one, where we have started our suction stroke from point D with no clearance. That means at the start of the suction stroke, we have considered that the position of the piston is at the top dead center, that is just at the top wall of the cylinder. And this was the initial process: suction stroke, constant pressure and temperature. Then compression stroke from A to B, that was polytropic in nature. B to C was discharge stroke. Now, when the piston is at extreme left position or at the top dead center, then it does not flush with the cylinder head. That means at the end of compression stroke or delivery stroke, if the piston reaches at the top dead center, then for the starting of next stroke, next suction stroke or next intake stroke, until and unless some pressure difference is there in between the space of the cylinder and the outside or the intake manifold, the suction valve will not open. That is why a dead space must be there or always remains between the cylinder head and the piston. That is known as clearance space. So clearance is very much essential or necessary for a compressor to give the mechanical freedom to the working parts, that is valves or ports, and allow the necessary space for valve operation. So if we draw the PV diagram for a single stage compressor with clearance volume, then first we consider that at the end of the delivery space or delivery stroke, if we draw the delivery line like this, which is a constant pressure line, so consider that the end of the delivery stroke, the position of the piston is at point C. If we consider some clearance volume is there, otherwise it will be at this point. So suppose this B to C is the delivery stroke. Now at the end of this delivery stroke, it will again expand polytropically from point C to point D, and this expansion will continue until the pressure P2, that is known as suction pressure, is reached. So the pressure P1 is reached, that is known as suction pressure. Now when it reaches the suction pressure at point D, then the inlet valve will again open and the induction of fresh air into the cylinder will start. Now this intake or the suction stroke continues for the remaining period of the stroke until and unless again the piston reaches to the from the top dead to the bottom dead center. So at point A. Now again from point A to point B, again there will be compression. Which is polytropic in nature. So here which one is the clearance volume? So from point C, if we draw a vertical line, this space is known as clearance space, and from this point to point A, which is the actual movement of the piston from top dead center or in between the top dead and the bottom dead center, is termed as stroke volume or swept volume, which is denoted as Vs. So what is the function or what is the necessity of this clearance volume? So the effect of this clearance volume Vc is just to reduce the induced volume of the air at pressure P1 and temperature T1 from Vs to Va minus Vd. So because if no clearance is there, then the swept volume will be from A to point this point. But since here some clearance is there, suppose if this point is E and this one is F, so if no clearance is there, so the suction will start from point F, continues up to point A. Now since some clearance is there, it will actually start from this point and continue up to this point. So the effect of introduction of the clearance volume is just to reduce the induced volume from Vs to Va minus Vd. Now in this context you have to consider one thing, that for good machines the clearance volume is generally taken as 5 to 6% of the swept volume, and it can be lower up to 2%. Okay. Now from this diagram, PV diagram, we have to again calculate what will be the indicated power per cycle. Now here the mass of the gas at 4 points, that is at the starting of the suction stroke, end of the suction stroke, end of compression, end of delivery, are denoted as m dot A, m dot B, m dot C and m dot D, where since the compression of the constant volume mixture takes place from point A to point B, so mass flow rate of the air at point A and point B will same. Similarly, mass flow rate of the air at point C and D will remain same. So what will be the actual mass that will be delivered? So the actual mass delivered per cycle, if it is denoted as m dot, that will be mb minus mc in between these two delivery stroke, and or ma minus md. So from this we can calculate the indicated work. So indicated work will be denoted as area ABCD. So area ABCD can be written as area A, B, E, F. That is the total area. Minus area C, E, F, D. That means this portion. So this total minus this portion, that will give you the indicated work per cycle, which is denoted as, for area AEBF we can write it will be n by n minus 1 m dot A into R into T2 minus T1, where T1 is this one, T2 is over here, minus n by n minus 1 m dot D R into T2 minus T1. And the derivation of this one has been completed, has already been discussed in the last chapter, last class. So ultimately the expression will be n by n minus 1 ma minus md, that will be give you the actual mass delivered, that is m dot into R into T2 minus T1, and this one can be written as n by n minus 1 P1 V dot into P2 by P1 to the power n minus 1 by n minus 1, which is also equal to n minus 1 by n P1 into f of VA minus VD into this term. Now this f into VA minus VD, this one is equal to V dot. This is the volume, actual volume handled by them, and this f is the cycle per unit time. So from this expression we can calculate the indicated work if clearance volume is present. Next we have to calculate, so next topic is volumetric efficiency. We know that for a given condenser, since the compressor is connected, if we consider a refrigeration, standard refrigeration or air conditioning system, then the compressor will be connected, one end of the compressor will be connected with the evaporator and the another end will be connected with the condenser. Now for a given evaporator or condenser pressure, so compressor will be operated between evaporator, constant evaporation and constant condenser pressure. So for a given condenser and evaporator pressure, some important performance parameters are there. That is, the first parameter is mass flow rate of the refrigerant that will be entered into the compressor for a given displacement volume. Second thing is power consumption of the compressor. Third thing is the temperature of the refrigerant at the exit of the compressor, and the fourth one is performance under part load conditions. So the mass flow rate of the refrigerant decides the refrigeration capacity of the system, and for a particular inlet condition of the compressor or for a given inlet condition of the compressor, this mass flow rate depends on the volumetric efficiency of the compressor. This mass flow rate m dot depends on the volumetric efficiency. So what is volumetric efficiency? So volumetric efficiency, which is noted as eta V, it can be defined as the ratio of volumetric flow rate of the refrigerant to the maximum possible volumetric flow rate, that is also known as compressor displacement rate. This one is also termed as maximum possible volume flow rate. Okay, so mathematically this one is termed as m dot is the mass flow rate, V1 is the specific volume, so mass flow rate is specific volume, that will give you the ideal volumetric flow rate divided by compressor displacement rate, that is displacement volume, Vd, or swept volume, or maximum possible, that is Vs. So m dot into V1 by Vs, that will give you volumetric efficiency. In other words, we can also say that this volumetric efficiency is the ratio of actual volume of the air handled by the compressor to the piston displacement volume or swept volume. Now V actual means, what is V actual? V actual is this one. From this diagram, this V actual will be this Vs plus Vc minus Vd. If this one is Vd, so here V actual will be Vs plus Vc minus Vd, and V swept is Vs, that is called V swept. Actual volume is this one, Vs plus Vc, that means this one plus this one minus this part, and this is actual volume handled by the compression. So Vs plus Vc minus Vd by Vs, that will give you the volumetric efficiency. Now there is an expression for calculating this volumetric efficiency. What is the expression? if you look at the same diagram. Now regarding this calculation of the volumetric efficiency, so volumetric efficiency eta V is V actual by V swept. In terms of mass flow rate, we can also say that this one is the actual mass flow rate by mass flow rate of the maximum mass flow rate, maximum possible mass flow rate. So this can be also termed as P into V by RT into RT by P into Vs. Ultimately this will be V by Vs. V by Vs. This one and this one are same. Now regarding the calculation of volumetric efficiency, another term is used that is known as free air delivery. Free air delivery, which is called FAD. What is FAD? Free air delivery is the volume of air actually dealt with by an air compressor. Actual volume of the air dealt by the air compressor, and the volume delivered is measured at the pressure and temperature of the atmosphere in which the machine is situated. That means free air delivery is to be measured with respect to the atmospheric condition. Now if free air delivery is denoted as VA, that is actual volume of the air at pressure PA and temperature TA, then we can say that actual mass delivered, actual mass handled by the compressor, that will be PA into VA by R into TA. And this one can also be written in terms of ideal gas, that is equal to P1 into VA minus VD by R into T1. Now with respect to this volumetric free air delivery concept, we can calculate. So FAD per cycle can be written as, so FAD per cycle, that is VA equal to, if we cancel this R, so that can be P1 by PA into TA by T1 into VA minus VD. So eta V can be written as, from this line step V by Vs equal to, is the actual volume, that means Vs plus Vc minus Vd divided by Vs, which is equal to FAD by V swept. See, this actual value is nothing but FAD, that is free air delivery. Now put all these values over here, that will be V by VA minus Vs or you can write this TA by T1 into P1 by PA into VA minus VD by, so that is VA minus VD by Vs. Now this VA minus VD, that is the actual volume, that can be written as Vs plus Vc minus Vd divided by Vs, which can be also termed as one plus Vc by Vs minus Vd by Vs. This one can be written as Vd by Vc into Vc by Vs. Now here this VA minus VD, this one is the volume induced. which is equal to Vs plus Vc minus Vd. Now if we consider the process, the actual thermodynamic process, then process C to D is a polytropic process which is Pv to the n equal to constant. So for process P to B, sorry, C to D, or for process A to B, we can write Vd by Vc is equal to P2 by P1 to the power 1 by n, since the process is Pv to the power n equal to constant. So in this expression we have to put the value of this Vd. So if we put the value of Vd from this, so Vd will be P2 by P1 to the power 1 by n into Vc. So if we put the value over here, then this will be here we can write, so Vs plus Vc minus Vd, that will be equal to Vs plus Vc minus Vc into P2 by P1 to the power 1 by n. If we take Vc as common, then Vs minus Vc into P2 by P1, that is pressure ratio, to the power 1 by n minus 1. Now putting this value in the expression, finally this eta V will be equal to Ta into P1 by P1 into, sorry, Pa into T1 to 1 plus C minus C into P2 by P1 to the power 1 by n. Now what is C? Now this C is known as clearance factor, which is equal to Vc by Vs. Now if the free air condition, since we have defined this free air delivery as the actual volume of the air dealt with by a compressor, and the volume delivered is measured at the pressure and temperature of the atmospheric condition in which the machine is situated. If we consider that the condition where the machine is, or the environmental condition where the machine is situated, matches with the atmosphere, that means if T1 equal to Ta and P1 equal to Pa, then the final expression of volumetric efficiency can also be written as eta V equal to 1 plus C minus C into P2 by P1 to the power 1 by n. Now next we have to discuss about the variation of clearance ratio or clearance factor on volumetric efficiency. So in this figure is described. See here, this is the graph between volumetric efficiency and clearance factor. Along y-axis we have plot volumetric efficiency, along x-axis we have plotted clearance factor. And we have shown the variation of volumetric efficiency when each of these parameters is changed, that is the P2 by P1 is changed. So here the P2 by P1 value is 1, here it is infinity. So from the graph it can be said that, and all these lines, all these inclined lines denote P2 by P1 ratio, P2 by P1 to the 1 by n, because if we look at the volumetric efficiency expression, one ratio is there, that is P2 by P1 to the power 1 by n. So if we change the value of this factor, P2 by P1 to the 1 by n, then there will be a change in the volumetric efficiency. So from the graph it can be concluded that the volumetric efficiency eta V, this one decreases as clearance factor C increases. See, as C, value of C increases, eta V decreases for a constant value of P2 by P1. If we see along this first line. Number 2 is the volumetric efficiency decreases as RP, that is pressure ratio, increases. See, here the pressure ratio is P2 by P1. See, here the pressure ratio is P2 by P1 equal to 1. So in this direction, it is increasing from 1 to infinity. So when the pressure is increasing, volumetric efficiency will decrease. And the third thing is, the volumetric efficiency will increase when value of polytropic index N will increase. Because here in the expression P2 by P1 to the 1 by N, so when N will increase, 1 by N will decrease, so P2 by P1 to the 1 by N will again decrease. So this factor will decrease, as a result of which volumetric efficiency will increase. So these are the three basic observations that we got from this variation of volumetric efficiency with clearance factor. And in this context, we can say another thing, that there is a maximum value of this clearance factor, and corresponding to that maximum value of clearance factor, what is the maximum value of clearance factor? When C is equal to C max, then eta V will be equal to 0. Now when eta V is 0, since the expression of eta V is 1 plus C minus C into P2 by P1 to the power 1 by N. So when eta V is 0, so 1 plus, that will be C max minus C max into P2 by P1 to the power 1 by N equal to 0. So the final maximum value of C max will be, or clearance factor will be 1 by P2 by P1 to the power 1 by N minus 1. There is a maximum value of clearance factor when the volumetric efficiency is 0 at constant pressure ratio. So today is up to this. In the next class, I will discuss about what is the condition for minimum work, because till now whatever we have discussed, we have considered the compression process is polytropic one, but instead of polytropic, if it is isentropic or if it is isothermal, then in between these three, if we compare this, the work done between these three different type of thermodynamic processes, which one will give the minimum work, that will be discussed in the next class. Thank you.